I can't stress enough as well is that that curb can be very inviting to maybe cut the racetrack. Ooh, we've got a little trouble here at the 31.
David Garbo Jr. down to the inside, and he's got damage on that right front.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened here. Maybe a little bit of product of that, the bottom of that car getting in the grass, which can happen here and really destroy that front end. And hopefully it doesn't get too much in that right front. It looks like they have enough clearance, so he should be able to continue.
Garbo qualified 17th out of 21, the Connecticut driver with more.
Use up some of the equipment they already had that's not going to be any good for next year.
It's a good point, Derek. And we see the 34 there, Scott Hecker, using that older metal body to his advantage to move some of the lappers out to his experience to his advantage. Oh, getting into the 22 of Austin Hill there. And, you know, as a lapper, that's a bit frowned upon, especially if I'm in Austin's position. I'm a little upset about that one. You could easily cut my tire down or, you know, upset my race car that I spun out and took out a great running position in third there.
No harm, no foul. That new-bodied number 22 moves on through. J.J. Haley will get by Holloman. And here comes William Byron, the two-time winner already this year in that 9 car. He won at Greenville Pickens Speedway. He was the class winner, if you will, at Iowa, running second to Brandon McReynolds of the West. The 9 of William Byron will try to find a way forward now.
Yeah, and he's having a smart race. That's what he needs to do. He's having an excellent season so far. Oh, and the 49 there of Josh Holloman is having kind of the eventful couple laps there, Dave. Afterwards, we saw Scott Hecker do it. We're seeing Beasley try and work that outside line as the 49 is going to spin right in front of him, able to negotiate well, and oof, a little bit of damage there on Rico's car.
And that brings out the caution. John Holloman, the 4th, going around in turn number 4. The field will come to the caution flag. Now, we mentioned Byron, of course. He is the championship leader at this point by some 14 points going into the night over Austin Hill and Kyle Benjamin. So all those positions, like you talked about, Parker, important to the driver of the 9.
Absolutely. In a points battle over an entire season, that's what matters is the nights like this where maybe you don't have a winning car, you go out there and get the best finish possible, sometimes meaning just a top 5.
Take a look and see if we can see what happened to Holloman. I think we've seen it already. Let's see it again.
Yeah, I think you see a little bit of impatience between the guys that are coming around and lapping Holloman here. Beasley was trying to use the outside. He had Gaulding coming the inside of him. The 49 was slipping up, and it seemed like maybe at that point all kind of ended up in the same piece of racetrack, and the 49 went around.
So try as he might, John Holloman just cannot stay out of the way of these faster as they battle for that position. I saw some dust fly down there in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a melee down here.
There it is.
The 3 of Kos Grala, the 98 of Rico Abreu, who was involved a little bit in that last incident going through the grass. He dented the front of his composite body there.
Nick Drake also involved in the 15 car. So a 3-car pileup in turn number 1 brings us to a halt again.
And that's another one of those composite bodies, and you can see how it just crumpled up on the front end. The good thing is I see a lot of separate, a little bit too much. You know, you start to abuse your brakes. Oh, we've got a big
Austin Hill
here.
and William Byron. As soon as we talk about Byron not getting into trouble, he's around, and Austin Hill is as well.
Dave, I think you jinxed him a little bit there, but I think this is a product maybe of, as we saw, the 22 was going backwards, and those guys behind him probably were getting pretty impatient, including the 5 or the 9 of William Byron, and this is how things sometimes end up.
To see how this all happened. The field's squirting by now as we're under caution again here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Championship leader William Byron in a spin with Austin Hill, who was going backwards through the field.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of damage there. William Byron, I mean, once again, as I said before, you know, as long as that the bodywork isn't touching the tire, and then once you get going, it's not touching the tire, you're okay here at a place like this. Aerodynamics don't mean anything, really. So I think, you know, in that sense, they're all right, but they're most likely a lap down now, and this is a bad position to be.
Let's see what happened. Turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, so he just a little impatient there. The 22 looked like he was definitely struggling. Ooh, Jay Beasley got into as well. And that's what we were talking about. You know, the 22 was struggling either with getting to the center or just not being able to get back to the throttle. And those guys, having been so